Oh, well, what do we have here? You know, when I missed those shows back in April, I gotta say, the one thing that kept coming up was Hollywood Bowl, Hollywood Bowl, Hollywood Bowl. Especially nights 2 and 3. And I'm sure back then I did take a look at the set list, but yeah, believe it or not, it just wasn't there. So here we are. And look, it's the off season. This is off season training. I don't take the off season off. Still trying to get better here at the whiteboards. And, improving the top row. I like this. I like this. Down here we got a little pro. These are some bunk whiteboards, all right? We got to use them up anyhow. And what a better way to use it up than go back to the shows in April that I missed. So hopefully people catch these, and I know I definitely had some requests over times, and with good reason, because look here, right off the bat, we get a I thought I said a split open and melt. We get a ghost opener, and it did go into a jam. Nothing like too crazy, like you're going to get in the second set or anything. Basically, just a nice, I won't say simple, but a nice basic Phish jam. Even basic sounds a little bit critical, I suppose, but they rolled through it nicely. Got everybody grooving right off the bat. Not always a sign of what's to come. Sometimes they blow it early, blow their load early on in the first show, first set, even the first song. Sometimes you never know. Or the big first trio. Kind of got a quad of monsters here and a meat sneaking in. I don't know. I mean, look, we're just full of legends and Hall of Famers here. Now, Leaves, I'm really starting to like Leaves. Now, this one didn't quite perform. Meat. Come on, man. What's Meat doing in here? Especially this little skid. Now, look, everybody needs a break, all right, including the band. So I guess if we're gonna, let's get back up here. Let's just not skip over Bowie, Esther, Hood. This trilogy right here, and the Bowie and the Esther. The Esther not necessarily known for its jams, but Bowie. The only problem was it didn't really get a moment to extend at all. Just kind of getting through Bowie. Same thing with Esther, but going back to back, real old school, and then following it with Hood. Now, once they got to the peak there, it kind of raced through. It was a rather quick one, but the jam itself had almost a Piper feel to it. I could have sworn that we were going to get a Piper over here somewhere, because even felt it a little bit later on in the melt too, just a little Piperish. And then, like I mentioned before, after this big start here, the Mount Rushmore almost. Not really. Some people might put that as their Mount Rushmore. Wouldn't be ridiculous. Although Esther, really. Although when it made its comeback a few years ago, maybe like 2021 or something, or is it 18? Anyhow, Esther basically had huge gaps. And then they finally busted it out somewhere. I can't remember the year. Was it 21? 19? 18? I don't know. There was 100 and something show gap, and before that, it was a lot of 50 show gaps. And then ever since then, it's been like somewhat of a regular. If they get 10, 12, 15 shows, Esther's almost due. So, all right, I don't know, where were we? Okay, then we get into the Melt Jam, and at the middle of it was this crazy, chaotic thing. But then, they find a little normalcy towards the end of the jam. Not quite like Ghost, not quite like what we get over here, but not just crazy and chaotic throughout. Leaves, like I said, it was just Leaves. I prefer Leaves, extending that one a little bit to really get your money's worth. And then Squirming Coil, the one song that I botched on the whiteboard. I don't know why the I is so large. I don't know what I was doing with the C. I like the little Z right above the F Zappa 20. And as you can see, the pre-read, as I was just kind of going through the show in my head, the pre-read marking's not much different. I feel like that's a little different, though. Mixing it up here a little bit. I might like that. That might stick around. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? All right, so we're over here to the second set. It's a good thing this is just training, man. Dropped my, I had to have something in my hand. So let's get over here to the Chalk Dust Torture. And really, it took a while. It was over 20 minutes. Now, what the show lacked in this just big monster jam that took us over the top, is it was consistently jammy throughout. The Ghost, the Hood, the Melt, Chalk Dust Torture getting us started over here. Like I said, it just didn't really go. Toward the end, it really picked up, It wasn't, it was a little spacey and quiet throughout, though. And then Trey, kind of like I believe it was the Ghost, that Trey really started to rip at the end. Same thing on the Chalk Dust. The Twist Jam was just really kind of spacey and quiet throughout. Never really had that moment where it took off. But then 2001, Mike Gordon took off. Trey even just took a back seat for a moment. Fishman driving, and then here comes Mike Gordon, man, just going to town for several minutes in the 2001 jam. Page mixing it in too. Page was feeling it. He knew how to get down with Mike, and then that just leads to this whole kind of block here had a Mike Gordon feel to it, and back on the train, really. Then Trey's like, I'm the star, buddy. my time. So after we got some mic time and some page time, we got like the back on the train. You know, while it didn't jam, didn't go too deep, it was pretty much a straightforward back on the train. But whoo, a raging back on the train that was well down the tracks, full speed ahead after the Sally Jam. Sally Jam was nice, but I really, honestly, even though it, you know, might have only been what, 8 to 10 minutes, I think that was my favorite, man. That little mic break down there. I did like the Ghost, the Hood, and the Melt a lot. I didn't hate the Chalk Dust, but I just felt like maybe a little too spacey for too long. Twist is always a little, you know, we don't know what you're going to get out of Twist. So the fact that it was a wild card tonight in between these, maybe Trey blew it, you know. Maybe Trey was like, man, I'm all out of gas. Mike, take over. And he did, until down here, Life Beyond the Dream. First tube, raging the end of the first set. And, you know, if I was going to look, strong opener, strong closer, first tube closer. But really, after all of this, you know, if 75% of the show was great, and then adding on 85% of the show was great, that's all right. And people love this stuff. I don't know. Well, people don't love this. Some people like it. Couple people love it. Andrew Duddy. First tube, people love it. I don't know. I like it when Trey's on his back. I will say that. Antelope, I'm kind of into Antelope right now. That was a smoker again. Kind of a big Antelope guy right now. You know what I mean? All right, guys. So that was it. You know, a little off-season training, and that was a good show. I'm glad I went back. And night 3 doesn't look too shabby either. So maybe in the next few days. All right, guys. Boom. Hopefully you tuned in for this. We're out of here. Love ya.